after some technical difficulties, but we are now going to break down the Tennessee schedule with everyone. Let me retweet some things real quick and get this out here. All right, Austin. We just talked about Nico and the changes on the offense that he's going to bring, and how our offense is probably going to be more fluid under him than it was under Joe Milton. But let's go game by game here and kind of break down the schedule, break down what's going to go on during the season. So obviously that we were just talking about, we start off
0-1
with
against UTC. Yeah.
0-1. But what do you want to see in that game? Like, what do you want to see? What do you want to see against Chattanooga? That you're, we know the players that we have, like Squirrel White and running backs of that. We got our players that we already know things about. What are you looking for in this game to kind of jump forward into NC State?
This may sound boring, and it is my first answer. I'll give a secondary answer too. But my number one hope for all of it is that everyone stays healthy. That is the number one goal
No.
at the end of the day, because this is a guaranteed win. And if we lose anyone in this kind of game, I mean, I think I remember last year, Florida State lost Jordan Travis for the year in a November game against the FCS opponent. And in the past, we've lost big time players in games like this, and it obviously sucks losing a big player in a big game or any game, but when you lose them in a game where you could have put in me and we still win, it really does suck. So I just want to stay healthy, and also I'm just looking to just shake some rust off, make some tackles. That's all. Like early season for every team in the country, you're gonna see the biggest issue might be guys missing tackles because they don't do scrimmages like they used to anymore because everyone's trying to stay healthy, obviously. So just let's get our linebackers, shake off the rust. Aaron Carter, uh, Keenan Peely, just let's kick some ass there. And I it's weird. It's hard to say what I want to see because everything got if it's good like Nico is like kicking ass. Like okay, well the receivers are beating every DB they're against, and the O line can give him a million years in the pocket. So it's not like impressive or nothing. So I just those are my thoughts generally.
All right, before I get my answer, Vance Vols chimes in. Glad you guys are back on. We are too. We had some technical difficulties there. But he says the defense, kind of what you mentioned about tackling Austin. You want to see the defense be more productive. I, as well, want to see the defense because, Vance, we all know that the offense is probably going to be pretty stout. And I want to talk about the offense after I talk about the defense. But our defensive line is coming into this season as one of the most highly touted defensive lines, and not only the SEC but the country. Like they're expected to be really, really, really good. You have Amari Thomas coming back. You got a lot of key players around him that I think can make him crucial plays. And I want to see the defensive line not just like plug up holes and stop the run, but I want to see this defensive line get pressure on a quarterback. And James Pierce, of course, is going to get that pressure. But I want to see someone else step up besides him, because James Pierce, is going to get double teamed in this game and just about probably every game that he's in. So I want to see some other players step up and make some crucial plays to take the pressure off James Pierce, because if other players are getting in the backfield and hitting the quarterback and getting pressure on the quarterback, then they're gonna have to think twice about doubling James Pierce if those players are getting open. It was kind of like Derek Barnett and my mind kind of went blank.
Corey Vereen.
Corey Vereen and Derek Barnett. They double teamed Derek Barnett so much, Corey Vereen had to just feasted on people, and so I kind of want to see that kind of effect on our defense this year. Bev chimes in. First offensive play for Tennessee, pass or run. What is it?
I think we might go past because we're not going to be passing a whole lot in the second half, so we want to just come out there and sling it. Maybe a pass to Squirrel White or Dante Thornton down the sideline. That'd be cool. I think a couple of years ago in 22, we opened first play with a touchdown pass of the game. So that'd be pretty cool if we open the game with
I'm
just
gonna call it.
destroying a DB.
I'm gonna call it right now. I think Chris Brazzell is gonna get. They're gonna go deep with him first play of the game, just to test the
Oh, man.
waters. I think they are. I think they're gonna go
It's,
deep.
it's so. Who is our fastest receiver in this team? Is it still Squirrel? It's probably still Squirrel.
It's Squirrel White, but the fastest person on the team is Peyton Lewis. Apparently, if you haven't seen pictures of him lately, holy cow, that guy is a monster of
I
a
got
freshman.
a, I got a prediction though. I think Dante Thornton is actually going to have a great season. I think you're going to be surprised because he was here last year, didn't really have much to show for the season, but I think he's going to make a huge improvement.
Yeah,
Obviously with maybe a little better talented QB. Um,
a little
and
bit,
also
yeah,
Ethan
just a
Davis.
little
My God, there's so this.
bit. That is exactly what I wanted to say before we got cut off with technical difficulties. Is you mentioned Colin McCastles and the tight ends in the game against Iowa last year with Nico. I think Ethan Davis is going to have an insane season because I feel like Nico likes tight ends a lot. He looks their way and throws their way a bunch from what we've seen. So I agree with you, Austin. I think Ethan Davis is going to be top notch.
He
But
looks, and I've heard good things about him in camp, man. This kid, I mean, he may be. I I feel like people don't realize how good we're gonna be. Like I really don't. I really like. I haven't seen defensive line rankings, but I don't think they understand. I don't think people comprehend. I legitimately would take Tennessee's defensive line over Alabama's. Do you realize how crazy that is to say, considering the football we've seen in our lifetimes, that on the line of scrimmage, I feel better about Tennessee than Alabama in the
you,
trenches?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was listening to the radio the other day. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, where like you tune into local radio and it's just like some random show out of like California or some Fox Sports show, ESPN show, some random people that do their own shows that are on local radio, and they were describing Oklahoma, and they were like they don't believe that Oklahoma, with the recruiting they're doing, is as stout as an Alabama, a Georgia, and a Tennessee. They put us in that tier of those teams. And that's the first time I've heard that in a long, long time. Like we're being put up there in that tier of dangerous teams. And it's really exciting to hear our name being called out like that when it comes to top tier teams in SEC and you not be able to compete with them as they think Oklahoma is going to win like 7 or 8 games, but they put Oklahoma in a tier below Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. I was like, our name was in there.
You know what I feel like people are forgetting? Why Tennessee was such a dominant program for decades. Why Tennessee was a blue blood at one point in this sport. And that is, okay, I'll give you these states. South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and take all those states. I'll give you all those states. What is the biggest brand historically in all those states? Like rank them. Number one is Tennessee.
Well,
If you are in those states and you want to co-play for somewhere close to home, if you're North Carolina, if you're from Kentucky or you're from Virginia or if you're from West Virginia, if you want to play big time, big boy football, and you want to play it nearby, you're going to go to the University of Tennessee. And we've seen that of late with how much we've dominated the Carolinas, how much we've dominated Tennessee, and how much we had a good few picked out of Virginia. And that's historically what it takes to win. And that's why Tennessee has an advantage over even like programs like Georgia and Alabama, because Georgia and Alabama, they are all kind of fighting over the same guys, and based on the same reasons. Like in that Georgia Alabama sphere in North Florida, it's like it's all about the same distance, and we will recruit those guys too. We are definitely going after guys from Georgia. That's still probably going to be the biggest amount of players we have outside of Tennessee. But that is a one big reason why Tennessee's dominant. And when Tennessee's good, people want to go there. I mean, we've seen that. We landed Faison Bradley, um, David Sanders, uh, and James Pierce, and recruits like that. Nathan Leacock. We've just picked. We've done so well in the Carolinas, and you know what's been a big thing that's also helping us. It is, and it's a natural thing. It's just kind of how it should be because it was the way it was this way forever. But we took a step back and let this happen to us, and that is Clemson has stopped becoming the biggest program in those states. They were they
Mhm.
if you took the Carolinas, you took Virginia, and you took Tennessee, you took that Appalachian region, which I guess Clemson really is an Appalachian, but it's near Appalachia.
Mhm. That's up
So
there.
so if you take all that area and you rank the programs, Tennessee took a huge step back because we were idiots. We stopped doing smart things. We started being cheap. We started being making decisions like losers make decisions. We started
We
making
we
decisions
had
like
loser
Florida had made of
mentality.
late.
Yeah,
It was a cheap mentality. It was a Cleveland Browns mentality.
a loser mentality. Yeah, it was cheap. Loser. You didn't do the things you needed to do to win. And we're getting on that point. I see where you're going with this. Like we are doing those things now, and that's why we are the way that we are, and that's why we're excited. And
Because
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
it's a simple thing. We're gonna go back to praising, singing the praises of Danny White. If you just make good decisions, if you put a good product on the field, we're gonna want to pay more for it. You don't have to pinch pennies. You can spend big bucks because you're gonna make even bigger bucks because of the big bucks you spent. It's a better business mantra. I think people underestimated how much people love this program and how much this meant to people and how much people are just like you don't realize until it started to happen how desperately people were for Tennessee to come back. You know, like people in Chattanooga, people in Knoxville, people in Nashville, people in Memphis, people in the Tri-Cities. Those people, I mean, that's a lot of people, and they love their Vols. It's almost it's similar to how Bammers love Alabama. The reason they landed Nick Saban is because those people could not take losing anymore. They're physically kill. It was killing them the losing, and I feel like we kind of we were getting so used to it that we were kind of just stopped fighting it. We kind of just accepted that Tennessee wasn't going to be a blue blood anymore. Tennessee wasn't going to be a big time brand. It just felt like, oh, I guess it's the way it's going to be. And then we started winning, and it immediately sent like juices to our veins. And it was like, oh my God, we need more of this. Oh my God, I forgot how great this was. Holy crap, what have we been doing? We got to win. I want to see this orange team kick the hell out of everyone. I'm so sick of losing to Alabama. Oh my God, like it was like a wake up. Like, oh my God, we're good. What the hell? And then everyone wanted tickets. Everyone wanted to watch us. Everyone wanted to buy our stuff, and everyone wanted to flow money into this program. And it's what it feels like right now. It feels like everyone wants this right now. Everyone in this state is so happy and just so happy that this program is kicking ass again. And I think we're going to see it this season. I think this team has got more talent than we've had in a long time. Like collectively, like guys like Arion Carter, those are guys that went to Alabama. Those are guys that went to Alabama
Yeah.
for the past
Yep.
15 years. And we're looking at him now because Alabama did want him. They thought they had him for a long time until we sneaked him out. And Nico, that's a QB that will probably be at Alabama or somewhere like that if Tennessee didn't start turning up. And James Pierce, he was looking at Georgia and programs like that. And you're seeing the collective talent raise in this team, and also a steady like senior laden talent too. Like Cooper Mays, this is a guy that you're number 5, I think, and he's been pretty elite since his sophomore season. And you're going to see, and you got Lance Hurd and guys like that. This team across the board is the most talented we had probably since old Fulmer was the head coach. Uh, that's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
No, that was a good. I like that because one part that stuck out to me that you mentioned in that what you just mentioned basically is when you said we had this kind of like we've got used to losing.
Mm-hmm.
We got used to it. So, and it's what you said was 100% correct because when we were playing Alabama and we fumbled the exchange between Hendon Hooker and was it Jalen Wright or Jabari Small? Who was it?
Small.
Jabari Small. Alabama picked it up, ran it into the end zone. They were running straight at me. And I just remember thinking in my head, well, we gave him a fight, and I'm happy with this fight.
Mm-hmm.
That like it starts to be like engraved in you a little bit. But now we're at the point where like I want to beat the shit out of you. I hate you. Our team is good enough to beat you. I want to curb stomp you into the ground. Like it's changed. The mentality has changed. And I don't know. Like you're right. You're right.
It you know, it's funny. I literally had the same feeling when that happened, and I was literally just staring at the Alabama fans, and they somehow how it popped out was like 40 flags. It was like I looked at the Alabama away section. There was flags everywhere. I was like, and you're just like boiling. It literally is boiling with rage inside of you. And but then another party was like, well, that's what happens here. You kind of knew this. Yeah, we're up 28-10 or whatever it was, but this is how it's supposed to go. And we can be proud to say, oh, we didn't get our ass kicked by Alabama this time. But then, and then another part of me, though, when I was kind of settling in there, I was like, you know what? No, this is not how it's going this time. It's been too freaking long. Like 15 years, that's too long to take a hiatus from the scene, okay? And Lord knows somehow we pulled that one out through. I mean,
Well,
God, that team
when
was special.
when you when you look at it and you see Ramel Keaton catch that pass over the middle and then them throw it to Brew McCoy to get into field goal range. As soon as you line up for the field goal, you know in your head, this is going in no matter what. Like this is meant to be. This is
Hmm.
going in no matter what. And it did. It was the sloppiest, ugliest kick. But damn it, it went in.
I
It
got a
went
question.
straight in.
Do you think we do as well as in recruiting? Do you think we do? You think the vibe around the program is as high as it is right now if we don't win that game?
No,
That is so
because you
massive.
it's crazy, isn't it? It
Hmm.
just shows you you know how many recruits, not how many, every one of them were watching that game. There wasn't one recruit, one fan base that wasn't everyone was glued to that game.
A lot of
That
them were at
game
it.
was yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
but everyone was glued to that game whether you're at it or watching it. And yes, I have never really thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense because if we lose that game, it just we're still going to get recruits. We're still going to get good players. But every recruit out there looks at that game and says they found a way to win through the playmakers. I
Hmm.
can go there and be a playmaker. Like it's one of those things where they're watching it happen and unfold. Oh, they have less than 20 seconds on the clock. They have 19 seconds to go down the field and score. And what the hell do? They go right down the field and kick the game-winning field goal. And got to witness something insane. Like I want to play for an offense like that. And yes, so to your point, yes.
How much better is it that like I'm just gonna reminisce on that game for a minute or two. How much better is it that Alabama, like when Alabama lost in the past, you kind of had to sit back and say, or Bamers would sit back and say, well, we made a lot of mistakes and that's what happened. No, they played out of their minds on offense and we beat them. They had everything go well on offense. They had like third and or second and 20 something converted and they still lost. That's so much better. Like we put 52 points on them. You can't tell me Josh Heupel's a gimmick coach. He's a gimmick coach. A gimmick put 52 points, set records on Alabama. Nick Saban with I forget his name, the Nick whatever, the one of the number one draft picker, top five draft pick, D lineman. Um, you're gonna tell me all that was gimmicks? Well, damn, those are some good gimmicks. We should make those permanent gimmicks. I think everyone should be doing those gimmicks. Those gimmicks should damn near be the norm for everyone. um, but yeah, so let's go through the schedule. Okay. As we were
I know
attempting to do at one point.
we
Rabbit
went
Trail U over here.
yeah, we started with
I don't know where it
Chattanooga.
went, honestly.
Well, no, it was good. It was good content. And if it's just like
Yeah,
stupid stuff, whatever. But
passion.
that was
It was passion.
good passion content. Yeah. So Chattanooga, we all agree. I'm gonna write this down because I'll get lost in it. I'm gonna write your schedule and my schedule's record. We all agree that Tennessee is going.
Yeah, it's practice.
Yeah, it's a practice game. There's no way. Oh, they're
Scrimmage.
gonna win. Chattanooga is just supposed to win their conference. I don't care if they're supposed to win their conference or not. All right, so a tune-up game for NC State. NC State's number 24 against number 15 as of right now. Tennessee. Who you going with?
I'm going with Tennessee just because I
Mhm.
think they're the better team. But I will say, I I can't. Okay, I'm not so sure on this, but I think I might fear NC State a little bit more than I fear Oklahoma. And that may be more about how I think Oklahoma isn't that great than how good I think about or how much I think NC State's amazing. But NC State's pretty solid. I think Grayson McCall's a great quarterback. Dave Doran's never going to have a bad defense, but overall the talent level is just going to shine. I think we should probably expose their DBs and our O-line should give us enough time and uh, I think we'll keep them probably to around like 24, 27 points and put up about 38 of our own. That'd be my prediction, 38 to 27.
Um, yeah, I got us. I just think NC State's going to be too slow. I don't think they have the athletes. Tennessee. You said 38-27.
Didn't Virginia
Uh,
beat them last year?
yes, and we killed Virginia. I know it's a new year, but I think Tennessee's going to beat them like 42-17 or something like that. I don't think it's going to be
It
too
would be
close.
amazing to make a statement because a lot of people are picking NC State. It'd be awesome
Mm,
to go make a statement and beat them by like 40. That'd be pretty
mm.
funny.
All right, so we're both 2-0 in the season. The next week is Kent State. Let's just chalk that up as a win. 3-0 for
By
Tennessee.
Nick Saban's.
Yeah.
That's where Saban played as a 2 DB.
Mhm. Um, Week after that, September 21st, we go to Norman, Oklahoma. And what you got on that, Austin?
It's weird. I almost feel like I'm way too confident here. I'm starting to get almost a little paranoid because I've been just saying time and time again that we're gonna kick the crap out of them, but I really think we're kicking the crap out of them. I mean, they return what, four offensive players, seven on defense, and they lose their entire offensive line. Yeah, Jackson Arnold's gonna take a step forward. I know they brought in transfers for the O line, but I feel like we're better for starters. I just feel like our team is better. I think position by position, I think we're better probably everywhere but DB. And I think I think Josh Heupel has probably had this circled for about almost a decade now, ever since Bob Stoops showed him the door for basically treated him as a scapegoat. He put up a top 25 or top 15 offense and got fired because I don't know, it's just it was saving his own ass. And I think Josh Heupel, he's not one to have like a lot of emotion about these kind of games or a lot of like he doesn't strike you as a guy to have a vendetta or have like make games personal.
Mhm.
But in reality, he is a man who holds a little bit of a grudge here. And anytime this gets brought up, he kind of answers it and well, that bridge has been burned. I'm never gonna have anything to do with Oklahoma again, and I think he's gonna beat the living hell out of them. I really do believe that. I'm at least expecting a double digit win. I think it could be 20 something, and I really want to beat the crap out. I want to give them the LSU treatment from a couple years ago, but not at noon.
You said double digits. Vance Falls chimes in. This is explosive. Big Orange this year. Oklahoma. They defeat Oklahoma 28-14. I'm going to go a double digit win as well. I think Josh Heupel has this circled on his calendar 50 times in a row. This dude wants to beat the ever living piss out of his former alma mater after kind of the way he was treated there. The fans kind of ran him off. People ran him off. I think Josh Heupel's got this circled on his calendar. But if you pay attention to college football, you pay attention to what's happening around the land. Oklahoma's offensive line is straight trash. Straight just dumpster juice garbage, I've heard. It's just they are so worried about that offensive line. In Tennessee, what we talked about earlier, what's their biggest strength on defense? Their D line.
I mean,
I
our third string D lineman will be starting for most programs in the SEC.
so yeah. So James Pierce, Omari Thomas in that game might have just the biggest field day of all time. I'm taking Tennessee in that game, buddy. I'm taking them 35-17. And it's not even going to sound that close. I think Tennessee just dominates them in the trenches. They replace all 5 starters. They don't have a starter on that thing. Yeah, DR just chimes in to the exact. Yep, they replaced all 5 starters on that team. So I think Tennessee's going to have a field day. They're going to eat them up in the trenches. And Tennessee starts 4-0. So we both agree there. All right, let's move on to Tennessee. This one scares me. October 5th, Tennessee at Arkansas. That one scares me because guess who's back in Arkansas?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
And they hired him for
In a
this
neck
exact
brace.
in a neck brace. They hired him for this exact reason because they think that when Sam Pittman poops his pants, he's going to replace him as head coach. And who is that massive guy, Austin? Who is the name? Neck brace himself.
Bobby Trino.
Bobby Petrino. So I am scared of that game, but I think Tennessee gets it done. I think they win by about 10, 13 points and start
I mean, it's off a bye.
5. Yeah. And
Yeah,
what did you
that's
say
why I'm
about
not
Josh
worried
Heupel?
about it.
What did you say
He's
about
good
Josh
off.
Heupel?
He's historically he's really great off bye weeks. I don't have Let me look up Arkansas schedule real fast. Let me see what they're following that up with.
Hey, Angry Vol Mob chimes in. Reverend Bobby Petrino.
Reverend.
That's good.
Let's see. Arkansas before they play us. Oh, we have a bye week before them, and they are in Arlington against A&M. So Jerry World. That's the week before they play us. So I mean that might be the game that gets Sam Pittman fired. Actually, A&M might be. If they open the season, I honestly could see them opening the season. They could have 3 losses by that game, and that may be it. I mean, UAB. I mean, I don't know that Arkansas. I can't really. I'm not sure ever how good they're gonna be. We had that one
No.
surprise season with Pittman where
I
we blew
still
that
think
game.
that I still think that Arkansas. Um, I think Arkansas doesn't have the talent that Tennessee does, and
No,
I know we've said that so many years over the years. Like Tennessee's got way more talent, but they also got a head coach, so that outweighs every other obstacle, in my opinion. Tennessee is starting 5-0. Florida comes to Knoxville the next week. What do we got, Austin?
um, you know, I think this wouldn't be funny if we beat Arkansas, they fire Pittman, and we beat Florida and they fire Napier. Uh, that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, if anyone predicts not a win here, if any Tennessee fan predicts a loss against Florida, uh, I I I hope you just step on a Lego and you're an idiot. Like you're just a jerk, you know? Because like if we lose, oh shut up. If we lose to Florida, if we lose to Florida this year, uh, yeah, that might send some people over the I mean, over the stadium, man. I just you can't lose that game. You got to beat the hell out of Florida. I want to embarrass Florida. I want to absolutely. I want them. We never play them that late in the year, and I want them to be at that point in the season where the locker room's kind of lost, and that's kind of the breaking point, and we just absolutely blow the doors off them. Don't own any Florida
everyone is
Gators.
everyone is chiming in. DR chimes in, who will also be pulling for against Florida,
Why would I
Tennessee.
be a Florida fan? I just
Donald
don't. That's the worst one.
Donald
That's the worst.
Donald Payne chimes in. Just make sure you wear your Florida jersey,
I
Austin.
don't even. I literally. I hate no
Austin,
stadium worse. I want those people to choke on piss water. I just.
buddy, we get it. You own Florida gear. You're a Florida fan. I understand. It's a known fact now. It's out there. Like you are a fan. We already lost Austin to Florida. Of course, we're worried about losing the game to Florida.
Do
Oh
you?
man.
Mm, yeah, that's why it's fine. But I hate them so much. Uh, literally, I literally want those people to just those are the worst people on the face of God's green earth. Like if you you've been down there for a game, it is it is seriously an absolutely miserable experience. It stays a dumpster fire. The people, I mean, you it's like Jersey Shore on acid, and it's just they're just the worst. It's so bad. I just sick and beyond belief we lost them last year down there. I went and it was absolutely so horrible.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself. Angry Ball chimes in and
I
says,
hate the state of
Austin.
Florida.
Oh, Angry Ball chimes in. Austin is the Monica Lewinsky as Florida is to Bill Clinton. These comments are gold right now. You set yourself up for that one, or maybe I set you up. I don't know, Dr. I don't know, maybe. But you got us winning. What's the score? What's the score?
I think Tennessee paints the walls of the new south end zone with the Florida Gators blood, and it is a 52-17 outcome.
Whew.
If that on defense, I want it's a downpour results because we haven't had that. The two times we've beaten Florida in the past since '04, it's been by the skin of our teeth. Even last year or 2 years ago when we had the game in the bag and we almost gave it away. And I'm tired of beating Florida like that. I'm tired of obviously we lost so many games to Florida where we were the better team and but we still wound up losing, including last year. And I'm just I that that I'm so sick of that. I want to kill the narrative. I want to absolutely just like stop this whole trend of Florida just like overachieving or playing their best game of the year against us. I'm tired of that. I'm so sick and tired of that, and I want it to go out in full force. And out that game, if it's a 7 p.m. kickoff, I know it's traditional and we won't wear black, but I really wish we were wearing black jerseys for that night because I think that would just like I don't know. I know it's uniforms and that doesn't make really a difference, but I feel like that adds something. I feel like it adds something because I just feel like every time I've seen us in black uniforms, we're gonna kick ass. And but I think we're gonna kick their ass regardless, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a fun time in the greatest place on earth, and that's Neyland Stadium. I'm taking my dad to that game, and I'm just so ready to beat the hell out of them. And can you just imagine the hype? Tennessee is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 0. Probably in the top five at that point, maybe top three, I don't know. And heading into a battle with the Alabama Crimson Tide in Neyland Stadium on October 19th. Uh, College game days there. Nick Saban's on campus. It's absolutely an unreal scene that following week. It's gonna be such a we're not gonna get anything done at work that week.
Mm-hmm. Well, until Tennessee proves otherwise, I've got the Gators beating Tennessee because I have no evidence, no proof over the last 20 years that they can do it with the best team they ever had. They did it with Hendon Hooker. I get it. But they went down the swamp last year and got their absolute tails just murdered. So you can roll your eyes all you want to, but you have us every year going freaking undefeated. So I don't want to hear it. So
they're Vegas. Ask Las Vegas how many games they're gonna win. They say 4.
I don't care. And guess one of those is probably gonna be Tennessee. Until
No,
we
if they made the line for the Tennessee Florida game right now, Tennessee would be about a 17-point favorite.
that's awesome. That is amazing. Until we can prove we can shove it down our throat and beat them on a yearly basis.
You're calling me a Florida fan?
Yes, you are. You own all the gear. So
I
I am
owned
just
one shirt that I was given free at a
you're
Tennessee
calling
Florida
you're
basketball
calling
game,
you're
and
calling me
I
a
don't even
Florida
know.
fan. You're calling me a Florida fan. Dude, we haven't beat them but like twice in the last 20 years.
Still, you're
So
projecting
so
what to be a bottom, like a trash
yes.
team that by every projection, and you're telling us we're going to
I
lose to
don't
them
care
with
how trash
this
they
load of a
are.
roster.
I don't care how trash they are. Prove to me that you can beat them. That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
we did the last time
Prove
we were
to
in
me
Neyland Stadium.
2 times in the last 20 years, bud. So prove to me that you can
Yeah, but they
consistently
don't have Anthony Richardson.
beat
I
beat
mean,
them. I don't care. I don't
we didn't have
care.
Cooper Mays last year. If we had
Prove
Cooper
to
Mays, we would have
me.
won. We had Joe Milton last year. You agreed the whole problem in the offense was Joe Milton. And if we had Nico for that game last year, like, or if we had the offense we think we're going to have this year, we're going to win the swamp.
Well, we could have beat them with Peyton Manning. So it's a mind
A
game thing.
dynasty. I mean, to be
It's
fair, I
a
mean that's ridiculous. But they we should have done it. But they were also a
I will
top
not
5 team every time.
I will not believe it until it starts happening on a regular basis with this crappy ass Florida teams. They're terrible. They're awful. But guess what? They always kick us right in the balls. So until it happens, I'm not going to mark it down as a win. That's
But
just me.
like
It
just
happens every
looking,
year almost.
okay, just looking at the game, looking at the two teams, and just because of the names on the jerseys, basically that's it. You're gonna say Tennessee's losing?
DR chimes in. I still think Florida would beat us even if they had a Marshall style plane ride to get to Knoxville. Dude,
Oh, we are
I'm not going to argue with anymore. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. This
too
is like
soon, man.
like you predict us to go undefeated almost every year. Like it's like we could have
I
Justin
mean,
Worley at quarterback. You're like, oh, we're winning 11
I
games.
mean, I probably okay. Well, I just kind of have us winning the games we're probably favored in. Maybe Oklahoma we won't be favored in. Like it's not that crazy. Like, and I honestly am. It's not a crazy prediction to say we're gonna be undefeated after October 12th. It's
So
kind of that wouldn't surprise anyone.
you got 6-0. I got 5-1 because I won't believe it until I consistently see it. So the next game is against number 5 Alabama at Tennessee. What you got?
What I got, I'll tell you what I got. That's
Who you,
Tennessee.
Matthew McConaughey?
No, I was going Forrest Gump actually,
Oh,
but Tennessee's gonna beat the living hell out of the Crimson Tide of Alabama. I okay. All in all, I don't think Alabama's that great, to be honest. And I don't think anyone's beating us in Neyland Stadium. They didn't beat us in Neyland Stadium 2 years ago, and that's what I think this team's going to be similar to, but with a defense. That's honestly my opinion. I think we have the 2022 Tennessee Volunteers, but with a little more power at receiver, which is crazy to say, but a little more power at receiver and a little more power, a lot more power actually on defense. And I think Alabama will not be that great. I mean, I think they'll be top 10 pretty much throughout the season, but not. I don't think they'll be as good as they were a couple of years ago. I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year. They lost a lot to the portal, and I mean, they'll be good. They'll win. They have a good shot at making the playoff, but I don't think they'll win in Neyland Stadium. I don't think they will. I think we're better on the line of scrimmage. And I don't think Milroe's that great. I think he'll have some fun. I think they may put up 28, 30 points, but I think we'll put up something more, 40 something. And you got to win that game if you're Josh Heupel. The first time
yeah,
Kalen DeBoer's coming into the stadium. I mean, I know this sounds like I'm sunshine pumping, but literally the over-under win total for the season's 9.5. And I mean, pretty much consensus is 10-2, 9-3, 11-1. I mean, that's kind of where people are with this team. If we go 8-4 or 7-5, it's a complete failure.
yeah.
Complete
Well,
failure.
you have us undefeated so far at 7-0. I've got us at 6-1 after the Alabama game. I think we do beat Alabama. I think we beat Alabama, and Austin's going to have us going undefeated because he's going to get to Georgia and be like, we're beating them. So I've got us 6-1. Austin still has us undefeated through the season. I think Alabama does roll into town, and I think Neyland Stadium is deadly place, like you said, Austin. And I think that Tennessee does take care of Alabama. I don't trust the Florida stuff until they can prove it. I'm not buying
You're
it.
you are a clown, my friend.
I'm not a clown. I'm not stupid. Like you were a
I mean,
clown. You were a
Alabama.
clown. You were a clown for going to Florida last year. Like we're gonna whip their ass. No, we got our asses kicked because it's Florida. Until they can prove
I mean, we
otherwise,
didn't know
I
if
don't
Cooper
understand why you think that this is an easy game.
because it
Prove me
should be.
otherwise. It should be,
Because
but it's
at
never
some,
not.
there should be a breaking point. There is always a breaking point,
Is
and
there?
there's
Is there?
always
Because it
yes.
never seems like it
Everything has to
happens.
come to an end because Florida can't be. And here's another thing. We don't ever play Florida late in the season like this. I mean, it's not late; it's literally the middle of the season, literally smack down the middle. But that's about the time of Florida. I mean, this is the same spot I think last year where they got absolutely blitzkrieged by Kentucky. I think by like 20. I know, it's not Tennessee. It's different logos on helmets, but I don't give a damn. I think in Neyland Stadium, I don't think they'll be able to keep that up. I think the locker room will be falling apart. And I think on defense, our defense in 2022, the one difference that was made is they could have success on our defense. I mean, that was a team to beat Utah, and they were that team 2 years ago was better than the one they have right now, and they were playing a much worse defense than the one they'll be playing this year. And I think we're gonna win. I I think we're gonna win by a lot. I really think this team's really freaking good. I know I'm always high on the team, whatever,
Yeah,
blah blah
every single
blah.
year.
But I should be this team. I mean, literally, it's the most talent we've had to work with in probably since the Fulmer days. I mean, you build for a long time, or for 3 or 4 years, you get these
We
recruits in
had we had our best team in years under Hendon Hooker and all that, and we barely beat Florida. They almost came back and beat us.
because we
So
didn't have a defense. The
I don't
defense. I
care.
mean, I mean, we our secondary we had walk-ons out there,
We had.
but
What did you say
no,
in your tweet earlier? And this is the last thing I'm going to say. And I'm going to move on because the Florida crap is just getting in my head. It's getting in my mind. I'm sick of losing them. You tweeted earlier. This defense took massive steps last year against
they did.
everyone else but Florida. They couldn't tackle anyone. They ran all over us. They made us look like we were Barbie dolls. Like we couldn't even we're just standing there. So until that
Well,
happened,
when you're on the field all day, it kind of happens, and they
okay, we
had
were on
their
the field all day against the majority of every team. So, but
What
Let's
I'm
make
saying is this team won't be on the field all day, or this team will at least they'll be scoring. We'll be scoring.
they weren't on the field all day when Hendon Hooker was quarterback. So that's my main point.
And they didn't have a
They
second. Well,
yeah,
we don't
and they
mention
almost
secondary
won the
now,
damn
but
game. Florida almost came back and won the game with 2 minutes left. So
I think that team's better than this one.
we'll see. All right. Kentucky versus Tennessee. Let's just go ahead and chalk up the W here. Austin
I
is
don't
still
know.
undefeated.
You sure?
Austin is still undefeated at 8-0. I'm at 7-1.
Ah, he
Austin,
thinks we're beating a 4-win team.
okay, so let me go back to what I've just been stating my entire existence of this whole podcast. Prove to me you can beat a team. We can prove we beat this team a billion times. Tennessee is Kentucky's Florida. That's what we are. That's what that is. So prove to me you can beat them, and you can't beat them. So we're killing Kentucky, and you're 8-0. I'm 7-1. The following week, Mississippi State rolls into Knoxville. What you got there, Austin?
I think Mississippi State will be a little fun team, but no, they won't be able to play with us. I mean, in Neyland Stadium, undefeated. Week 4, Georgia. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a really fun time in Neyland Stadium. That's all I can tell you right there. And same for Kentucky. God, this is gonna be such a fun. Every weekend's gonna be so great until maybe this one coming up.
So Mississippi State, you got us winning 9-9. You're 9-0 on the season, undefeated.
It's almost like
I
2 years
am
ago.
8-1. We got Georgia coming up. I'm going to go ahead and mark us down as 8-2. I'm sure you're going to pick them to win, but go ahead.
Yeah, I do think Georgia beats us. Okay, because that's the first team we play that's better. That's actually better than us, in my opinion. And it's in Athens, and that's just a really, really, really tough place to win. Yeah, I mean, you're making fun of me for us being undefeated. This is a pretty favorable schedule. It's not easy, but it's not like it's just how I like it, if that makes any sense. Everything on it, I feel like comes pretty well. I'd have a bye before Alabama, and I'd have them playing like the 85 Bears before that. But that's the only thing I would have changed. Besides that, I like how it goes. I think Oklahoma's a mismatch for us. I think they're pretty good, or a mismatch for them. They're pretty good, and we should beat them. I just this is a good schedule for us, and we don't often get that. But yeah, I think we do lose to Georgia. I think we take our first loss there, but I think we are competitive. I think we do hit some plays. Oh Lord, can you imagine we won that game? I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but man, that'd be freaking amazing. Oh, come on. Well, okay. I don't know what happened to Rainey. There he is back now. Uh, so we were talking about the Georgia game. Can't hear you. So yeah, I think
You can't hear me?
I hear you there now.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
So we both have us losing in Athens.
Yes. So you have us 9-1. I have us 8-2. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, it's just really grainy. I don't know why. You're grainy, rainy. Terrible. Okay. Last 2 games of the year. I'm just gonna finish it out here. UTEP, Vandy. We're gonna paint the walls with our blood, and I think we'll be 11-1. I am not absolutely certain that Tennessee will be playing the SEC championship if you go 11-1 because Georgia's probably undefeated, and Ole Miss could very well be 11-1 also. But and I don't know how the tiebreakers work in that, but and also Texas, who knows? So it's tough to say. But if we are in the SEC championship against a rematch at Georgia, I will say that is interesting, and it's obviously with the new playoff and everything, it's gonna be something we haven't seen before, and that's gonna be just weird. But we'd probably lose to Georgia. I I don't know. I feel like Georgia won't be as good as they've been in the past, And hell, they could. I mean, watch them lose to Clemson or something crazy like that. It probably won't happen. But and also Georgia's working with the hardest schedule they've had maybe I don't know freaking ever. I'm legit serious. I've never seen Georgia with a schedule like this. They go to Austin, they go to Tuscaloosa, they play Clemson in Atlanta, they go to Oxford, they play us at home. And apparently Georgia Tech's a little tough matchup, and they still got the cocktail party um, in Auburn, but that's in Athens. Um, so yeah, I, I haven't given a prediction for every team in the SEC, but I'm just gonna say that SEC championship will either be Georgia, Tennessee, or Georgia, Ole Miss, or Georgia somebody. It'd be funny if it wasn't Georgia in there. I'd prefer that. But okay, whatever happens there, if you're 11-1 and you lose that game by 40, you should still be in the playoff because you're in the SEC and you beat Alabama and in Oklahoma and Norman. So we should be in the playoff at that point, and we'd probably be hosting a home playoff game. I don't know against who, maybe Notre Dame, maybe Penn State, and I think we would beat them because it's Neyland Stadium. I don't think anyone's beating us in Neyland Stadium in a scene like that with a team I think we're going to have. So yeah, I'm pretty high on this team. Obviously, I will say one caveat to all this. Nico has to stay healthy. That is the number one must for this entire team. Because I don't know if you know this, but we don't have really crap behind him. That's something we've kind of just done. I don't quite agree with that. I kind of wish we would have added something of a transfer or something. But it's modern college football. It's hard to get a good backup because no one wants to be a backup because there's this thing called the portal, and there's always going to be Florida Atlantic or freaking I don't know UCF, some program at that level offering your backup if he's good a starting spot. But we have Drake Merklinger as probably the backup if it's full time. But if it's just a spot series or something, a not permanent replacement kind of deal, we would have Gaston Moore sub in, and Gaston Moore has been like okay at times, but obviously if you're starting him full time, I'm not feeling too great. But hell, Georgia won the national title with Stetson Bennett, so who's to say? Um, but yeah, I think if Nico stays healthy, if majority of this team stays healthy, it's gonna be the best season we've had since I honest to God believe 01, I guess, or 98. I mean that's crazy to say, but and now I could be flat wrong. I could be flat wrong, but I feel like Josh Heupel's overachieved a lot. And a lot of people like to say, "Oh, he always drops one on the road." Well, there's reasons for those, and I think South Carolina cheated, just personally. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun year, and I think Tennessee, this is gonna be a really great season because we've been building towards it, and it could go awry, it could go bad. I've seen crazier things happen, but I'm really looking forward to this year, and I think good things are coming. Uh, I guess we're gonna close out the podcast. I'm doing this solo, but we're gonna close it out, and yeah, we're gonna see y'all next time. Next time we see y'all, it'll be after a most likely Tennessee victory on Sunday, and if it's not, I will never do this show again, and I'm gonna move to Alaska and just not do sports anymore. Probably just crochet in Alaska full time. It's an odd place to choose to do crocheting, but I won't see any sports out there probably. And if they bring possible there, I guess I'll move to like I don't know North Arctica. I don't know. North Pole. That was what I was going to say. Anyways, we're gonna win against UTC, and we'll see you on Sunday. See y'all next time. Peace out and go Vols.